All right, so in this video, I want to talk about the top 11 most common questions that we get asked at tenantbuyerlist.com. And if I were you as a seller, either a landlord or a for sale by owner, or maybe you're a realtor, or maybe you're all of the above, um, these are questions, of course, I would ask as well. So these are fair questions, and they deserve honest answers. And so that's what I look to do here in this video. And so uh, over the last 7 years or so, these are probably some of the most common. We get other questions, and we answer those questions at our other sites as well. But some of the most common that we get are, scams. The internet is full of them. How do I know you're not one of them? And as I state here, indeed, there are tons of scams on the net. And of course, the simple solution to this is, as is with any person that you do business with, you're going to want to have a real estate attorney involved. And I say real estate because some folks think that their tax attorney or their uncle who is an attorney in some other area of law will suffice. And that's not the case. You want to have somebody who is a real estate attorney actually answering your real estate related questions because that's it. This is all that important. If you don't have one, um, you don't have to have one, but it's always advised. Of course, we try to be very transparent, and we really do our best to try to provide you with enough information that you don't even need one, because we try to be as transparent enough, and we give you so many outs, meaning our agreement allows you to cancel anytime, and we're not asking you for any money. So if you can cancel anytime, we're not asking you for any money. And at the end of the day, when we do bring you a tenant buyer, you get to vet that person and decide, and then sign contracts with them. You don't really have a whole lot you can lose here, at least with us, right? And so we do, again, try to make that as simple as possible for you. The second question is, what's the catch? How do you get paid? Well, there is no catch. We get paid by the end buyer, as do you. So we split that with you. So the end buyer pays us because we're not charging you 6% commissions like realtors do. And so that saves you. If it was a $200,000 house and you had to pay out 6% commissions, you'd be paying 12 grand plus closing costs, which is usually 1.5% to 2% on top of that. So you're looking at close to 8% that you'd have to pay out of pocket. And when you do a lease option, we charge our end buyer what's called an option assignment fee. And for you, it'd be an option fee. And so that's where the money comes from. That way you're not having to come out of pocket. And so, yes, you would not get the full down payment, if you will, or full option fee when you work with us. But we have to get paid somehow. So that's where it's the least painful way to do it. Not to mention the fact that you're getting your full asking price, and our buyers are responsible for their first $5,000 in any kind of repair, or if it's a higher end home, even $10,000 or more. So we really are kind of giving you pretty much everything we possibly can. It's your pricing, your terms, and you're not having to pay 6% commissions. Does the title stay in my name? What about the mortgage? Yes, everything stays in your name because it's a lease with the option to buy, but it's also the option not to buy. So there's no sale happening. The buyer is leasing the home, and they have the option to buy the home or the option not to buy the home. So title still stays in your hand. Title does not transfer until they decide to exercise the option, if they decide to exercise the option. Do you have tenant buyers for my specific house right now? Obviously, if we have never spoken, we don't know anything about your property, the answer is no, because we don't know anything about what you have. Obviously, if we do know about your property, but buyers have not responded to either an email blast from me to my own personal list, or other ads that we've got up to drive buyers. If you may have a beautiful home, but the key here is that it's priced right. And so how do we know if it's priced right? Well, people are making offers to buy it. That's the simplest way. So it's purely letting the market speak and let us know if you are in fact priced right. So sometimes folks will say, well, hey, great, these guys are going to give me my full asking price, so I'll just ask for the moon. You can, and your house is just going to sit. So you've got to make sure that you're priced right, and primarily the rental price has got to be priced right, because that seems to be the most sensitive of all pricing. Of course, the purchase price is too, which is called the option price in this case, but the rental price is for sure the most sensitive. What if they destroy my house? What then? Look, anything is possible. Um, but you have to consider if you are a landlord or you're about to be a landlord, meaning you want to sell the property for sale by owner, or you had it listed with a realtor and it just didn't sell, and you've got to put a tenant in there. If you just put a tenant only, the chances of them destroying your house is far greater than doing business with us. And the simple logical reason is they're giving you a small refundable deposit, and their intention is not to ever buy the house, right? They just want to rent it. And so when you're selling the property rent to own, these folks want to own it. They're putting a far greater down payment called the option fee than they would if they were just renting it. And their intention is to buy the home. Oftentimes these folks will actually fix up the home, obviously with your written permission. But these are folks that want to own the home, right? So as it's been said, you don't wash the rental car, but you'll wash your car. And so that's the same thing here. These folks are putting non-refundable option money, which is typically 2 or 3 times what you would get as a landlord from the security deposit, which of course is refundable if you're doing a straight rental. In our case, it's non-refundable. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Do your buyers pay us directly? Yes, they would pay your option fee portion directly to you, and our option assignment fee will come directly to us. Are you licensed in my state? I don't know what state you're in yet, but no. I used to be a licensed realtor with Keller Williams and RE/MAX at different times, and was a mortgage broker also. But I now act as a principal representing myself only, so I don't represent you or the buyer. So there's no representation happening here. I'm acting on my sole behalf, just like you're acting on your sole behalf, and the buyer would be acting on their behalf in representing. So that's why we always recommend that you get representation, like a real estate attorney, that kind of stuff, and that way everybody can best represent their own interest. How fast can you find someone for a home? Usually the 7 to 14 days is the fast answer. The longer answer is it depends if the property, again, is priced right. If a property is overpriced, it sits longer, or it just sits only. And that's, you may be coming to us right now because your realtor was unable to sell your property. It could be the fault of your realtor, but it also could be that your property is priced too high. Because when a property is priced correctly based on its location, its condition, it sells. It's just that simple. And so the good news here is that when you're selling your property rent to own, you're exposing yourself to a bigger market by far. You're exposing yourself to a market that you're probably not currently exposed to. If you're doing a straight rental or a conventional sale, you're missing the folks in the middle who would like to rent and buy the property. So this is going to open up your property to a lot more eyeballs online. Can my real estate attorney review our contracts? Yes, as I mentioned earlier, it's recommended. We encourage that, and again, we encourage that they be real estate attorneys. How do you qualify them? What's the process? In a nutshell, we do everything except for the credit scores, because if they had perfect credit, great income, all that kind of stuff, then they wouldn't need us, they wouldn't need you. They would just go to a bank and buy the property, and so it's a different market. With that said, I know what you're probably thinking. Well, great, I don't want somebody with terrible credit. They're not going to pay me. I've had a bad experience, that kind of stuff. And so again, what we're trying to do is manually underwrite these folks, looking at their, why did they have bad credit? Do they still have bad payments, or was that bad credit way in the past, like 2-3 years ago? And since then, they've got great financial records. They've been able to gain great command over their finances. If so, then they've got to be able to prove that, right? They've got to be able to show last 12, 24 months of good rental history, references, background checks, so you're not letting a felon into your home. they've got to be able to show all this to you. So we say documentation beats conversation. So we provide you with the documentation so that you and your real estate attorney can make that decision on your own, and we're not pulling the wool over your eyes. Everything that we get gets submitted to you, and then you can say yes or no. So if you think about it, you're getting free traffic to your property. You're getting folks showing up at your home through our marketing and negotiation efforts, and through my own list of tenant buyers, or just through the additional marketing that we do. We do a lot of syndication marketing to find folks for each new property without you having to pay a dime. And so you can make the judgment yourself and see, who you like and who you don't like. And then the final question is, I'm listed with a realtor. Can you help me still? And the answer is yes. Obviously, we don't want to step on any shoes, and we want to make sure that the realtor is compensated, of course, for any work that they do or that they have done. That's between you and the realtor. If the realtor is okay with working with us, we're happy to. We're not crossing any lines. We're not looking to take away a listing, because again, we're not realtors. We're not representing you or the buyer. We just represent ourselves. So we would be buyer number one, assigning the contracts over to buyer number two, right? That's essentially what we're doing. So we would draw up a one-page agreement with you to start. Now, there's fuller agreements once we have located a buyer that I custom draft with, these are the entire full-fledged agreements: lease agreement, purchase agreement, option agreement, assignment agreement, and some disclosure. But in the beginning, it's just a one-page document that says, this is Russ, this is the purchase price I want, this is the rental amount and the term I want. And so you'd be extending that to me as buyer number one, who would then turn around and assign that over to buyer number two. And so, yes, your realtor can work with us. That's not a problem if they're open to it. I just know that in the past, I was a realtor and I was never familiar with creative seller financing like this. So if you and I end up doing a rent-to-own lease option or a land contract for deed, something like that, your realtor may not be trained in that, and that's okay. We're happy to provide the education to them and show them how it works, but a lot of times they'll shy away from it because they think that they can't get paid. Number one is probably the biggest concern, understandably so, looking for a commission and for a sale that happens today. And while the sale is not happening today, there are ways that they can still be compensated instead of losing the entire transaction completely, right, to an expired listing, or maybe you don't have any equity in your home, that kind of stuff. And so we have ways that we can structure it to where you're happy, they're happy, we're happy, and of course the end buyer is happy as well. So yes, the answer is we can still work with realtors if they're open to learning a new thing. Frankly, I don't know why they wouldn't be open to learning a new way to profit just for their own business sake, because I guarantee they are leaving money on the table from a business standpoint by not learning how to do this, not only to serve you, but serve folks in the future. So by all means, we're happy to talk and help your realtor if they're not familiar. If they are, then makes the process a lot easier. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, learning the answers to the 11 most common questions that we've gotten. If you've got any other questions beyond that, by all means, feel free to contact us and let us know. Thanks.